Dear brothers and sisters, let us continue the book reading Reality at Dawn, written by Babuji Maharaj, the chapter Ways and Means. A most common excuse advanced by certain people today is that they are too busy to devote any time to meditation or similar other practice. But the busiest man has the greatest leisure is a well-known saying. I think a man has more time at his disposal than there is work for him to do. Their complaint of the scarcity of time is due only to its wrong adjustment. If we utilize our time to the best advantage, we shall never have cause to complain that it is short or scarce. There are others who are a bit frank to admit that it is not for want of time that they remain away from devotional duties, but for their habitual negligence and sluggishness which they cannot overcome. To them, I would say that they are probably never negligent or sluggish in their trade or profession, which they attend to with full zeal in spite of all personal inconvenience and even illness, only because some monetary gain or profit is in view. Their longing for the material gain turns them unmindful of their inconvenience or illness. Similarly, if our longing or lagan for the realization of the goal is great, our negligent or sluggish habits will not stand in the way of our efforts or progress. If we go through the history of ancient sages, we find that they had sacrificed all the comforts of life for the sake of attaining reality. They led a life of austerity and penance, undergoing every kind of hardship and trouble for the sake of the object so dear to their heart. Intense longing for the goal made them blind to everything else, and they remained firm on the path, not minding the difficulties and reverses that came across their way. Such an intense longing for the object and an iron will to achieve the goal is absolutely necessary to ensure complete success. I may assure you that you can win laurels in the spiritual field if only you turn your attention towards God and proceed with will, faith and confidence, no matter how adversely you may be placed in, surrounded by all the worries and miseries of a household life. Your busy life will then offer no hindrance in your way. Generally, people go hesitantly towards God, thinking themselves to be too incapable and weak to achieve the real thing. A powerful will made at the very first step and maintained all through shall never fail to achieve complete success. Half the distance is crossed if a man enters the field with a firm mind. Difficulties and dejections will melt away at a mere glance, and the path of success will be made smooth. Indecisive attitude leads to half-hearted efforts and generally results in mere partial success or more often in failure. Our firm will enables us automatically to draw in power from unknown source for the accomplishment of the task. A firm will supplemented by an ever-increasing impatience or yearning to achieve the object will enhance the force of our effort, and we shall thereby remain in constant touch with the same real thing, catching every hint conducing to our spiritual well-being and progress. Impatience or constant restlessness to reach the goal in the shortest possible time is thus by far the most important factor which contributes to our speedy success. Here, Babuji Maharaj is saying about some people who seek excuse to practice the meditation or similar other practices, saying that they are too busy and do not have time. But for this, what Babuji Maharaj is saying, the busiest man has the greatest leisure, which is a well-known saying. So, Babuji Maharaj is saying that I think a man has more time at his disposal than there is work for him to do. isn't it? Many people, they have ample time at their disposal and they work for a minimum time, and the remaining time they will spend it in different activities which does not have any meaning at all. In spite of that, if we utilize our time properly, then definitely we will get ample time for our spiritual practice. So, Babuji Maharaj is saying that their complaint of scarcity of time is mainly because of their wrong adjustment of timings. That is true. Just I would like to say a few words to my friends who are housewives. See, for them, the responsibility what God has entrusted is to feed their family, isn't it? They have to prepare the breakfast, they have to prepare the lunch, dinner, etc. Over and above that, they have to maintain their home. So, if we allot a specific time for all these things, for example, if we decide to complete all our kitchen work within 3 or 4 hours, and if we start by 6 o'clock, definitely it will conclude by 11 o'clock, isn't it? So, from 11 to 5, we have 6 hours time that we can utilize it for our spiritual practice. Remembering Babuji Maharaj, reading Babuji Maharaj's books, analyzing it, thinking about it, how to go ahead. All these things we can very well do it in that time. But what usually housewives will do? They will distribute that one preparation of breakfast, lunch and dinner for the whole day. They will be always in the kitchen, and just they will come out of the kitchen for half an hour or 1 hour, and again they will enter into the kitchen. They will make that kitchen is itself their world. If we do like that, how can we spare our time for our spiritual practice? We want to attain that higher state of condition, but we ourselves are not planning for it. So, planning is very, very essential. It is very important. Similarly, for our brothers who are working in the office, see, they don't do any work in the kitchen, isn't it? For them, since they get up from the bed until they go to the office, absolutely they will be free, other than their personal work, doing their personal work. So that time they can spend, and then the remaining time, as soon as they come from the office until they have their dinner, they will be having time. That time also they can utilize. See, if at all we want to do anything, then definitely we will do it. We will find time for it, or otherwise we will adjust our schedules accordingly. And here Babuji Maharaj is saying about some people who accept that it is not because of the scarcity of time or because they are busily placed, and it is mainly because of their habitual negligence and sluggishness, which they cannot overcome. So for them, Babuji Maharaj is saying that They never neglect their trade or profession, isn't it? They are not sluggish towards their trade or profession, which they attended with full zeal, enthusiasm, and interest in spite of all their personal inconvenience or even when they fell ill, only because some monetary gain or profit is there in their view. So, because they want to earn money, their longing for the material gain turns them unmindful of their inconveniences or illness, isn't it? Similarly, if our longing or lagan or interest for the realization of the goal is great, then we will be negligent towards all the inconveniences that happen to us, and our negligent and sluggish habits will slowly drop away, isn't it? So, if we go through the history of ancient sages, we find that they had sacrificed all their comforts of life only for the sake of attaining reality or God. And they led a life of austerity and penance, undergoing every kind of hardship and trouble for the sake of the object, that is God realization, which was so dear to their heart. So, intense longing for the goal made them, those rishis and great saints of India, blind to everything else, and they remained firm on their path, not minding the difficulties and reverses that came across their way. So, dear brethren, if such an intense longing for the object and an iron will to achieve the goal is there in us, because it is absolutely necessary to ensure complete success. If such a iron will is there, then Babuji Maharaj is assuring us that we can win laurels in the spiritual field only and only if we turn our attention towards God and proceed with an iron will, unfailing faith, and complete confidence. And no matter how adversely we may be placed in and surrounded by all the worries and miseries of a household life. So, now our busy life will then offer no hindrance in our way, isn't it? Generally, people will go hesitatingly towards God, thinking themselves to be too incapable and weak. I heard actually from many people that they will say that they are incapable and they do not have that capacity to do proper sadhana to achieve the goal of life. For such people, Babuji Maharaj is saying that a powerful will made at the very first step and maintained all through shall never fail to achieve complete success. So, dear brethren, we should make an iron will from the very step and should continue it till we achieve our goal. So, if we make strong will, then half the distance is crossed. So, difficulties and dejections will melt away at a mere glance, and the path of success will be made open and smooth. So, indecisive attitude, it leads to half-hearted efforts. So, because they will be doubtful about their capacity. So, generally, as a result of which they may be partially successful, or even more often they may face failure also. So, what Babuji Maharaj is saying, our firm will enables us automatically to draw in power from unknown sources, because God is unknown to us. We don't know what actual God is. From that main source or center, one will develop the capacity to draw the power for the accomplishment of the task. Hence, a firm will, supplemented by an ever increasing impatience or yearning to achieve the object, will enhance the force of our effort, and we shall thereby remain in constant touch with the same real thing, catching every hint conducive to our spiritual well-being and progress. So, Babuji Maharaj is saying that impatience or restlessness to achieve that ultimate reality in the shortest possible time is thus by far the most important factor which contributes to our speedy success. So, dear brethren, now let us bid farewell for our sluggishness and seeking excuses stating that we do not have time or we are busy, and let us aim for that highest thing with an iron will and unfailing faith in Master, and simply progress in our spiritual path. With this, I conclude today's satsang, and let us know more aspects in the forthcoming satsang. Till then, I take leave. Pranams. Namaste.